Okay. Did you get it?
Yep.
Okay, and you
Now
can
just
hear
gotta-
me okay?
I can hear you beautifully.
Speaker. Okay.
Sorry, I haven't eaten yet, so I'm drinking dinner right now.
Oh, there you go. Drinking your fruit.
It's good.
Your fruit.
It's healthy.
Yeah, there you go. Totally.
So Josh, I was like, do you want some sheet pan
I have
nachos?
something to tell you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Wait, why can't I hear you?
Hello?
I have something to tell you.
Okay.
Oh, and now I can hear you.
Don't tell me you're going to be there longer.
No, it's really cool. So, you know the person that did the video for us? That video, that the animation
That you sent? Yeah.
Yeah. So he messaged me tonight and he's like, I would like to be business partners with you. And I was like, well, that's all I really need from you. But weird. But then I was talking to him some more and he's like, do you have a web, or he's like, do you want an app? And I was like, we don't need an app right now. And then he was like, what about your website? And so he Googled our website and he was like, I don't want to offend you, but your website is not professional. And I was like, well, obviously, but we can't afford somebody to do a website for us right now. And he's like, well, how much are you willing to spend? I was like, literally nothing. We cannot afford a website right now. Like someone to do a website. That's a lot of money.
Right.
And he's like, well, what can I do? Or I would like to help you. And I was like, okay, well, if you want to help us, all I can, or he's like, what's the lowest that you can possibly go? And I said, I literally cannot afford anything right now. And I was getting kind of frustrated because like,
did you tell him about Rick?
No.
Oh,
but they don't.
Sorry. Anyway.
Oh, they don't take no for an answer. And I said, the only thing that I can offer you right now is a review on our podcast. And he said, okay.
What do you mean?
He said that he would make our website better for us in return, in exchange,
give him a review
for a review on our podcast.
Oh, so we tell everybody how awesome the animation was that he made. And then, it was freaking awesome.
No, not the animation, the website.
Oh, okay.
Probably maybe both, but I would assume would probably be better. But because I was like, how much do you normally charge? Because I was asking him like, what do you charge? And he's like $500 to $700. And I was like, I don't have money for that.
Yeah, we don't have enough Patreon donors, guys.
And so then he was like, and then I was like, I'll fine. If you really don't want to take no for an answer, how about a review for the podcast, for the website? And he's like, okay.
What? Shut up.
Nope. I am dead serious. So he's going to remake our website for us. And
yes, thank you.
I know. So when it's done, we'll have to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I don't even know who we're thanking.
Thank you. I don't remember his name.
You're amazing. You're the best. Thanks for
helping. Isn't that so cool?
Podcast out. Hell yeah, that's cool. That's like 2 cool things in one day.
I know. So he must see like potential in us. I don't know.
By the way, everybody's praising me on Twitter for responding to that person for that way.
Oh, I love that so much.
Everybody, I keep on getting notifications and it's a like on my comment.
I mean,
I was just being nice. I didn't realize I didn't know.
You didn't know that you were being called out?
Yeah, people call. Why don't we just say?
Okay.
We got called out along with 6 other podcasts about self-promoting from another podcast. And so lots of people had our backs, including a bigger podcast. What up?
Who was it?
The Ignorance is Bliss?
Oh, Ignorance is Bliss one. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
And they're really nice, or they seem really nice.
Yeah. Absolutely. Did you tag my
Ignorance
favorite
was
murder?
bliss. Sorry.
Oh, was
I
bliss.
did
Okay.
at one point, yeah.
Okay. That's I saw it. I thought I knew how to use Twitter,
I don't know how to either.
but when like, I guess I know how to use it, but I don't know how to like understand where the original thing comes from. And so then I
It's
was like,
confusing.
yeah. And so I saw our tag of WWTN podcast and then my fave murder. And I was like, is
Oh
that
yeah, they didn't tag
what?
us. They didn't tag us.
I was,
I tagged them. A podcast promoter asked what podcast like inspired you to do
uh,
podcasting, and I tagged them and I tagged and that's why we drink.
yeah,
You guys are
I,
awesome.
I love them. I love both of them.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite murder was the very first. I didn't know how cool podcasts were until I listened to my favorite murder.
You got me
So,
hooked on, and that's why we drink. I've listened to My Favorite Murder before too, because I listened to them to get different ideas, or not different
yeah,
ideas, but
yeah,
research. But
yeah.
I really, 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 really like, and
And
that's
that's
why
why
we
we
drink.
drink. I know. I
Thanks.
haven't listened to them, and since I really like a good episode, I haven't like fully listened to them since I've been down here.
Is it weird that I listen to them while I'm in the shower?
No. Oh, I listen to them in the shower, but it doesn't it doesn't take a full episode. So,
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes, 10 to 15
yeah.
minutes, depending on if the kid's at the shower door are trying to get me to get out.
Yep, pretty much. Um hey guys, this is our
Our
podcast.
long ass intro. Yeah, this is our podcast, What's with the Neighbors? I'm Bri.
That's Bri. I'm Amy, and this is our true crime paranormal podcast.
This is
We're
episode 13.
I have a
Ooh,
really good
I didn't do anything special. I love the number
I have
13.
a good one for number 13.
Oh, cool. That's good.
Yeah.
This is
Oh my
episode,
gosh.
the wine's getting to me. This is
My
episode 13, right?
yeah, my eyes keep crying, dude.
Stop crying, big baby.
I'm so
Gosh.
sorry.
I thought I was
I'm
the
just so
emotional one
excited to
today.
see you.
I I feel like I'm gonna cry when I see you. Just saying.
Better not. Like, I don't know why that like the edges of my eyes feel super cold. Not
Dude,
cold,
your
cold.
eyeliner looks really good today.
Thank you.
Your hair looks really good too. You look good.
Thank you. I didn't wash
I
it.
I would have done more. I would have done more, but I just got back from the store. Oh, and it is on the way to the store. It was 38 below freezing, or
Ew.
38 below, not
You still
38 below
look really
freezing.
good. Don't even say that about yourself.
Thanks, pal. I'm wearing my
Thanks.
Christmas shirts. I told you I was gonna wear a Christmas shirt for every episode this month.
I'm so happy
Because
that you're
the
doing that.
eggnog made me do it. It's got a
Oh my
sloth on it because sloths are adorable.
Sloths
Super cute.
are adorable.
They're
They're
so
adorbs.
cute. They're so slow. Do you have a neighborhood story? Or do you want me to go first?
I
It's
want
okay.
you to go first.
Okay. So
We have announcements. Hold on.
Sorry.
Announcements.
Make your announcements short and sweet, short and sweet, short and sweet. Make your announcements short and sweet because you're so boring.
Boring.
I didn't know where
I was
you were going
wondering
with
if I
that.
should just like cut it halfway, and then I was like, I'll let her decide. So this episode is coming out on the 12th.
Video episode's the 10th, though.
The video episode is, yes, for Patreon donors, it comes out on the 10th. The premiere of this comes out on the 10th. But, I guess it's too late then for the announcements. Well, you have until the end of
tell you.
I guess you should have until the end of today.
There you go.
Become a Patreon donor to get a Christmas present from us.
And you can see what's happening, with all of our stuff. And we have a secret episode coming out, guys.
We do, and it's only for Patreon donors.
And you can see stuff about our reunion too.
Yep. Absolutely.
Amy and I are
And
finally
so
going to be reunited.
finally,
Reunited, and it feels so good. Sorry, I missed you a lot.
it's
I'm tired
beautiful.
of my husband.
Same.
Uh,
So you have until the end of tonight, which is December 10th, to become a Patreon donor. Get on that donor bus for $5 a month, so you can get all that super cool exclusive content and a Christmas present from us this month.
WWTN swag. I don't know why I just said that.
Yeah.
I'm too old to say swag. Also, like this comes out on the 10th video, so like Patreon donors, spread the message.
Yeah.
We're gonna be posting lots of stuff on our Facebook page, not because that stuff is shareable. So if you go to our
Mm-hmm.
Facebook page, you can share those posts, and if you share them about becoming a Patreon donor, then maybe more people will join. So,
Well, and you know what?
help spread the
Maybe
word.
we will just
I feel
have
like a
to have
cult.
those
Sorry.
Patreon donors become, what'd you say about a cult?
I said I feel like a cult by
Oh,
saying spread the word of
spread the
WWTN.
word. Um, Maybe we should have a contest just for Patreon donors.
Oh, snap. You get an extra sticker.
You can
You get a pop
no,
socket.
maybe like if they can get other Patreon donors, they can get something cool. I don't know.
Month off. I don't know.
1 month off.
If we can get 20, that's a really high number.
That is a
I have
very
very
high
high
number.
expectations right now.
Yes,
If
you
we
do.
can get 5, if we can get 10 Patreon donors by the
10.
end of this month, then we'll put out another bonus episode
There you
just on
go.
Patreon.
Just
I'm
on
sorry, Amy.
Patreon.
I just added stuff extra to our
You sure
to our
did, but you
workload.
know what? I'm here for it because guess what? I want us to get Patreon donors because I want to do the stuff that we keep talking about to do for
Oh
the
my
Patreon. I
god,
don't even
yeah.
care about the money. I
We're
just want
talking
people
about
to,
pranks, guys. Pranks.
yes, we have stuff that we want to do so bad, but we're like, nope, we got to save it for the Patreon donors.
Yep. Not that
But
we
we
don't
need
want to
more.
waste it on our parents, but
Oh
they've
my
seen it
gosh,
all, done it
no.
all,
Ew.
whatever. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Ugh.
Sorry, but we love you guys more than anything. And thank you for being Patreon donors. But gosh dang it, we want authentic Patreon
Yeah, we
donors.
want the real deal, not just support. Come on.
Yeah.
We want people here that are here for the exclusive content, not for good job, guys. Another good episode. Thanks, Mom.
And
Totally
my
just
mom
called my
out of
mom out.
obligation. I was
Uh,
talking to my dad the other day. I don't remember what we were talking about, but we were talking about the podcast, and he was like, uh he's like, well, where can I like see that? And I was like, oh, you have to be a Patreon donor. And he was like, isn't your mom a Patreon donor? And I was like, well, then talk to her about it.
yeah, right. Double dipping.
No, won't have it.
Per
And
one,
then the
you only
surprise
get one
that
per
we have,
household.
yes, there you go. The surprise that we have for everybody coming out on the 10th or 12th is on it was on my computer, and I was on sitting at the counter, and she
So
leaned
excited.
over, and my mom leaned over, she's like, what is that? And I was like, slammed it shut, and I was like, you don't get to see,
Just wait.
just
We'll see
wait
soon.
She's like, I'm your mom, and I was like, no,
I'm
you
so
can
excited.
see it on the 10th.
I literally teared up at it this morning. So guys, it's
I'm
amazing.
so excited. I know. Anyways, so those are our announcements. That was super long.
I don't think we have anything else.
My story is like 15 pages today.
Oh, 15 pages, front and back. You don't watch Friends.
I'm sorry, dude.
Except he said 16 pages, I'm pretty sure.
I'm really
That's what
getting
my mom
into
said.
Dexter, though. That's for sure.
I need to watch that.
It's hard to get into, but it's definitely. worth it.
I'm gonna push to it. I'm gonna push through
Yeah, you got to push through like the first couple episodes.
it. Push it. Sorry.
Push it real good. I'm just gonna sit here and cry the
Um,
whole time. Why are my eyes so watery?
You-
I should just let them water. Like, just let the tears come.
Is it dry there?
Mm-mm.
No. Well, there's no reason to cry in my stories, so I mean, some people die, but some people probably die in your story, so. Are you ready for a
You never
neighborhood
know,
story?
Bri. You never know.
You never know.
True
Oh,
crime
wait.
doesn't always mean murders.
Sorry. I have that up here. She goes off sometimes and it scares me. Okay.
That's disturbing.
So, our latest neighborhood story I have it's titled Weird Printing. This is not quite a suspicious incident. I just now heard my printer running mysteriously by itself, and it turned out to be printing unstoppably many sheets of erotica.
What are mini sheets? Like small?
No, mini sheets, like multiple
Oh,
sheets.
mini.
Like multiple.
Yeah.
Looks like it is aimed at males. I'm an older woman living alone, so I can just dump it. But it would be pretty bad if this came to a house with children. I don't seem to be able to interrupt the printing. To add insult to injury, of course, it is using a lot of ink to print these images. Ink is expensive. I'd be pissed.
Ink is
Has
expensive.
anyone else had this happen? And do you know who to report it to? Thank you. Her name's
I love
Marjorie.
it.
Thanks, Marjorie.
Marjorie.
I like that name. It's a good name.
That's a good name.
All right. Oh wait, who goes first this week?
Well, last week was the neighborhood. The
Oh, you went first last week. I'm gonna go first. I'm just gonna
Okay.
initiate it. I'm gonna take the lead.
Take the lead.
Mine's short.
I like mixing it up so our listeners
so we
don't
can surprise
know.
them. Like boom. That's a good one.
Sorry, guys.
What are you drinking?
White Claws.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. Cheers, Betty.
I had Jack in the Box for dinner.
You should have had Chick-fil-A.
I don't know.
Chick-fil-A.
I have a confession to make to you.
Okay.
I really love Jack in the Box tacos.
I never had them before.
They're disgusting, but they're so good.
Are those one tacos that you told me about your brother like wanting them one night when you
We
guys
tried
were
to
drunk
make
or
one time.
something? Yeah. You said that
Yeah.
they're the best when you're
Yeah.
less than
And
sober.
they're so good dipped in ranch.
Ooh, I love ranch.
But because I'm
Life.
leaving, I was like, I need to get my fix in. So I'm
Get
like,
your fix in.
No.
I get that.
So I keep burping that up. Which is disgusting.
The fact that you just said burping it up. There goes
when
another.
you burp up gross, like super deep fried food. So you're burping up the oil.
Hey, if I look to my left, you're there on my right in the picture. Hey, Amy.
Hey, friend. How are you?
It's like we're really talking. Oh my gosh.
I was just gonna fix the computer so I'm like more set back like you. Hold on.
Again, people, this is the perks of being a Patreon donor. You get to see this wonderful Zoom magic happen.
Okay.
Amy and I are together again.
There we go.
You look so cute today.
Thank you.
I would never combine those colors normally, but like they look so cute together. You're so good at that.
No,
Sorry.
I'm not. But I appreciate what you're saying.
You look so pretty.
It's like the cutest outfit I own. So
I love it. I love it. It looks like you don't
okay,
care, but you actually do. I'm sorry.
I
It's
don't.
gonna be a lot of editing. Okay.
Okay,
All
but
right.
hold on. Let's pretend to laugh at each other again.
Okay.
How are you?
Oh my god, I'm so good. How are you? Oh, let's cheers. Wait, shit. Damn it. It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
Wait.
Ow! Oh, whoops, wrong way.
What was
I thought you were pretending to hit me.
I thought you ran. Yeah, I thought you ran into something. Oh god.
I thought you were gonna hit me, so I was pretending to like react to it, but I went the wrong way.
Whoa.
Ah!
It's super late. Okay. Oh my god, you have so much editing to do with this. I'm so
It's
sorry.
okay. I'm having fun.
I am too.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. Game face on.
Me mama moo. Me mama moo.
Sarah sat in a seashell in a seashore. That's not right. All right. So speaking of seashores, look at it. Look how I just like
Your
went into
segue?
that. Yes. So I decided to do a story this week that was a little bit closer to home. Not this home. Sorry, guys. I love Alaska. By the way, did we mention that we're in North Pole, Alaska, and it's Christmas time? What? Anyway.
It's Christmas 24/7.
Yeah, it is. Totally. So I moved 2 years ago from, I'm going to say, the Pensacola area. It was small town Holt. Shout out Pensacola, Holt, Crestview, Fort Walton Beach.
What up?
Everybody, all my friends there. What's up, guys?
That don't listen to us.
That don't listen to us. You guys need to jump on the supportive train. Anyway,
Come on, guys.
This week I wanted to do a story that's a little bit closer to home. And as I don't know if a lot of people know, but Pensacola is like the home of the Blue Angels, which is pretty cool. Has
Yeah.
really awesome beaches, white sand or sugar white sand, and emerald clear water beaches. Beautiful. And also like Ted Bundy was found there, so that's pretty cool too. You know
No
that?
big deal.
You probably know that. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys a story about the Pensacola Lighthouse.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there's.
Hold on. Can I tell you a riddle about a lighthouse? Oh, damn it. I just gave it away.
I probably won't remember anyway, so it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So
I'm drinking on an empty stomach, man. Go for it.
So a man came home after a night of being out, turned on the news, saw that there was a boat wreck, ran upstairs, turned on the light, and jumped out the window. Why did he jump out the window?
It's a lighthouse.
Because it was a lighthouse.
Can I tell you a riddle about a lighthouse? Punchline. This is where Amy tells the best riddles. She doesn't try to fuck with your mind. Oh.
Say that again, please. That was so really good.
I'm so sorry for
Really?
All right, I'm gonna get in the story. You can cut that out.
Okay.
Amy tells the best story. She doesn't try to mess with your mind. No mind games here. Sorry, Candy. All right. So let's get to the story about the Pensacola Lighthouse.
Okay.
A little history for you. In March of 1823, Congress authorized $6,000 for the Pensacola Lighthouse. So like until the lighthouse was actually completed, they had like a floating lighthouse, like a vessel, like a boat that was called the Aurora Borealis. And it was transferred. Cool. Yeah, it was transferred from Mississippi, and it was there pretty much taking place of a area to serve the same purpose until
Right.
they had a lighthouse ready, and their lighthouse became ready, so they took that one, put it in Pensacola.
Okay.
So on March 24th, 1824, Winslow Lewis, he responded to an ad in the Boston Patriot, and he offered to build a lighthouse for $4,927. That seems really cheap to me. This is why I included the price. No, I did not convert it. I'm
Dang it.
sorry. And he
It's
said he would
okay.
have it converted in just 30 days, which seems really fast to me. And
That's
I feel
really
like,
fast.
yeah, I feel like it probably got done crappily, but
Yeah.
that's just me. Excuse me. The lighthouse was officially lit on December 20th of 1824, and the first keeper was Jeremiah Ingram. He was a bachelor, and within being there for 2 years, he actually got married to Michella. I think it's Michella. I'm gonna
Michaela?
say Michaela? That's a pretty name. I
I
don't know.
just made that up.
Did you really make that up?
No, I'm pretty sure there's someone out there
Oh,
named Kyla.
Michaela. Okay, we're gonna say Michaela.
Okay.
Together they kept the lighthouse. They kept up the lighthouse, and they actually raised 3 children there. It was their home.
Okay.
And when Jeremiah eventually passed away in 1840, the wife took over and took on all the responsibilities of the keeper. And in the 1840s, the clockwork mechanism actually crashed, and 2 people were hired to rotate the lamps by hand, which sounds
Oh,
really terrible,
jeez. Yeah.
until repairs were made. Michaela maintained her position until her own death, which was in 1855, and then her son-in-law took over.
It's Michaela.
Um, okay, it is Michaela. Okay, thank you. Um,
I've been thinking about it.
it's
So.
good. It's fine. I appreciate that. In 1850, complaints started being made about the lighthouse, the fact that people said it was too dim and that it was being blocked by trees. So the lighthouse board, which was a new thing, got together and decided that they were going to have another lighthouse built, and it would be no
Okay.
less than 150 feet and in Pensacola, which this other one was as well.
Yeah.
So they gave $25,000 for the lighthouse in 1854, which is a lot more than the other one, and
Yeah, it
an
is.
additional 30,000 in 1856. So this house was like $55,000 compared to like 5,000, almost $5,000. Okay.
Well, how many years had gone by?
Why do you ask me math? 1824 to 1850, so only like 25 years. Not
Yeah,
that
it
long.
shouldn't have been in flux that
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Half a mile, the new lighthouse was actually set to be built about a half a mile away from the original one.
Oh.
It was at the NAS naval base there in Pensacola.
Hmm.
And once it was completed, it was officially lit on January 1st, 1859. Um,
Oh.
it was 150, it is 150 feet tall. It is 15
Jeez.
stories, and it has 177 steps, and it went through 11 keepers throughout its life. Over
That's
the
not a
100,
whole lot.
no, I mean, but you have to think about people live for, I
But
mean, people
yeah.
are probably
Yeah.
serving it for like maybe 40, 30 years.
Yeah.
Over its 160 years of standing, it's seen a lot of history ranging from wars, natural disasters, and even some deranged ducks. Yep,
Ducks.
yep, I'll get back to that. So, so during the Civil War, the Confederates took control over the tower and were actually able to watch the opposing forces, the Union, across the bay. And in November of 1861, a two-day battle erupted, and half a dozen rounds were fired towards the lighthouse and hit the batteries.
Oh
Didn't
my
damage the
gosh.
outside somehow, but they hit the batteries, and the Confederate soldiers were forced to evacuate. leaving it to the union. I know this
Wow.
stuff is boring, but some of it's
It's part of
important.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's history. It's pretty cool.
I like history.
I found it fascinating. I really like this era. Era. In
Era.
1874 and 1875, the lighthouse was struck by lightning, damaging metal fixtures inside of the house. I mean, you never think about that with lighthouses being struck by
So
lightning. Like,
tall. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And it's by the ocean. So it damaged like some metal fixtures on the inside. And in
Did it kill anybody?
1880, no, nope, everybody's good. In 1885, the lantern was damaged when some deranged flying ducks flew into the lens room. And I only included that because on the Pensacola Lighthouse website, they had a timeline, and that was one of the points in 1885. And I was like, by golly, I'm gonna include some freaking deranged ducks.
They were drunk
They
driving, drunk
they are
flying,
important.
flying drunk ducks.
Let's include the ducks, guys. So
Wait,
in
did they
August,
cause damage?
yeah, they took out a lantern. They ruined the lantern. Sorry. The lantern got damaged from them from flying in there.
Did they not get arrested for
They
flying drunk,
you know,
deranged?
it was a different time. That's all I'm going to say.
FLD, flying under derangement.
FUD. FUD.
Yeah, FUD.
Elmer
Flying
Fudd.
FUD,
Maybe that's what
flying
Elmer
under
Fudd.
derangement.
Maybe that's who Elmer Fudd. Maybe that's what Elmer Fudd did. All right.
Sorry.
You're good. I like it. In August of 1886, the Charleston earthquake, which I'd mentioned in a past story on the
The
Charleston jail,
Charleston jail.
it was so big that it actually shook the lighthouse all the way in Florida, which I don't know why that blew my mind, but I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's on the coast. But it
I thought
shook
you were talking
the
about Pensacola.
yeah,
But Pensacola is on the panhandle
I
and
know.
Charleston is on the
Yeah.
other part.
Yeah, it was a fact on many websites. It made cracks inside the lighthouse. Yeah. It shook the
Wow.
lighthouse and it caused the pendulum clock to stop and formed cracks on the inside of the tower.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It was a pretty big earthquake though. So
Yeah.
as you've gathered, this lighthouse is pretty tough as hell, and
It's
it's been
haunted by
through a lot.
ducks.
It's haunted by ducks. The haunting of the ducks.
Sorry.
That's not even counting all the hurricanes that it's been through, because it's been through hundreds. Because I tried to count how many, and then I was like, screw it. I know there's hundreds of hurricanes that's hit the Emerald Coast. I called my
Yeah.
dad and I was like, Dad, would you say it's overestimating if I say hundreds of hurricanes have hit the Emerald Coast? And he's like, no. And I told him the time period, and he's like, definitely not.
Wow.
So enough with the history. That's boring. Whatever. Actually, it's pretty cool.
The ducks
and
was
I've been
funny.
there. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. I've been there. So I climbed all the way to the top. It's pretty cool.
From the outside?
Climbed all the way to the top from the outside, like Rapunzel?
Mhm.
No. Nope. I did not. I walked
How long
the
did it take
stairs.
you to go up the stairs?
A really long time. I was very winded. It was very exhausting.
Yeah, I bet.
So, of course, as I always say, you gotta have some deaths to have some ghosts.
Uh-huh.
So from like one source online, and then from a show I watched, Ghost Hunters Taps,
Uh-huh.
they had the people at the lighthouse had said that there was a murder that was committed there by
Ooh.
supposedly like a lighthouse keeper or a lighthouse keeper's wife. But they couldn't find anything on that, and they were pretty sure that they were confusing it with another death that was there. But other websites had said that there were 6 people that had died there, but
Jeez.
I wanted to mention that, but I don't think there was a murder there. I don't know. Who knows?
Okay.
So the first two guys I'm going to mention are Thomas and Raymond. They were actually runaway slaves, and they hid in the basement there until they were found, and they were hanged and buried on the property.
Oh, that's so
It
sad.
is. It's very sad. Um, Also Lizzie and Joey, they were children who lived and grew up there. They died of the yellow fever there.
Oh,
That was
jeez.
pretty big there, I think, the yellow
Yeah.
fever. And what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6. Okay. And lastly, Ellen Mueller, sorry.
Mueller. Bueller.
Um, she went by Ella. She actually died there not long after giving birth to her baby, like couple months after. She had a lot of complications during childbirth and like bled out a lot,
Oh.
and she died a couple months after, so it's really sad.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
So that's the last of them, luckily. But I mean, that's not even counting like the fact that there was war there. So I'm wondering if
Yeah,
like maybe soldiers have died there too. So I mean,
very
you never
much.
know.
Yeah.
So some paranormal experiences I wanted to mention. People have reported hearing your name called out, especially in the basement area where like the slaves were.
No.
Yeah. Taps on shoulders, pulling hair, cold sensations, seeing figures at the some people have reported seeing figures at the top, like at the top of the lighthouse from the
Yeah.
beach or from the ground.
Oh, from
And
outside.
yeah, like
Oh,
walk
that's
back
creepy.
past. Some have felt their butt being touched while climbing the 177 stairs, and they think that that was actually one of the past keepers, Samuel. I'm not sure why.
He
Um,
was probably touchy.
right, yeah. Also, obviously, they've had a ton of EMF record or readers go off, like the lights, um, from yes and no questions going off, and they've
Mhm.
seemed to be accurate. Um, they've heard conversations and talking in the basement. There's a trap door in the very top that the stairs lead to where the light is.
Uh-huh.
And it just kind of opens up as you walk in. And it's like they said it was probably like 20 or 30 pounds in the show, and it gets slammed shut all the time. It's
Oh,
it's too heavy for wind.
yeah,
Um,
that's so creepy.
yeah. Footsteps have been heard, and whenever they were like on the steps in the show that I was and the ghost hunter show that I was watching, they could hear like footsteps throughout, like while they were like walking up the stairs, they would hear like footsteps throughout there, and then they would hear it through the house too.
I
Um,
hate that so much.
and they would hear like banging and loud noises because all the steps they're metal.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Also, people have reported seeing shadow figures and like seeing them dissipate, hearing objects being thrown and also seeing them being thrown. I think it was like dark at one point when someone said that they'd heard something being thrown, but
Just random
someone
things getting thrown.
yeah,
I hate
someone had
that.
seen a piece of metal fly off the wall.
What if they hit their
Um,
head?
Exactly, right. But they're like reported to be like the ghost hunters said that their guess is that they're not harmful. They're nice ghosts, and
They're just like throwing metal.
they're just there. It's
Watch
fine.
out.
It's fine. They're
It's
fine.
fine.
It's okay.
It's okay.
So on Taps Ghost Hunters, they actually did like a the two girls, two of the ghost hunter girls or whatever, they were in the basement doing asking some questions and whatnot,
Uh-huh.
and one of them felt like something touched their head, and at the same exact time they were like right next to each other. The other one felt like a really cold breeze go by her, and so they were like,
Ew.
she's like, I know I felt something like tap my head, and so they felt the cold breeze, and so one of them grabbed the thermometer, and they were like, "Hey, can you?" It was like 68 degrees in there. They're like, "Hey, can you bring it down to 65 degrees?" And so it goes down 67, 67 point something, 66 point something, 65, 64.9, 65,
Oh my
64.9. And they're just
gosh.
like kind of trying to keep it at that steady temperature. Um, and also, I think I said hearing voices and conversations throughout the place. They heard that as well.
Uh-huh.
Um, almost done. Also, this one was really cool to me. He was using his flashlight and he was reading something on the wall, and all of a sudden his flashlight goes off. And I'm watching it and I'm just like, okay, cool. His battery ran out. It probably just got
Right.
drained from the energy in the room because that commonly happens in like paranormal
Yeah.
investigation. It got switched to off. The flashlight got switched to off.
What?
Like something physically turned it. Uh-oh. Hold on. It says my internet connection is stable. Okay, we'll figure it out. So his flashlight instantly got like switched to off physically.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, Bri.
yeah, yeah. And so he switched it back. He's like, what happened? And he's like, oh, because he was with another guy. He's like, it got switched to off. He's like, I don't know what happened. So he's like, maybe. So he's like jiggling around, trying to debunk it, and nothing would move it. And so he switched it back to on, and
Uh-huh.
he continues going about what he's doing, and then it gets switched back down to off. Or he switches it down to off to test it out, and it gets switched back to on. And then it happens again. And he was like, I'm just going to go get a new flashlight. But it wasn't related to the batteries or the power or anything. Like something
That's
was
so
physically
creepy.
like switching the button to off. Like
They
I
were
thought
just
that was
messing
really
with
neat.
him.
Yeah. So that's the last I have as far as the paranormal experiences. As of today, not today, in 1965, the lighthouse actually became automated and no longer required a keeper. So
In
hasn't had a keeper
68,
since 65.
65.
And it is still functional and running today. It's been investigated by many local investigators and also TAPS, which they are my favorite. I love them even more than Ghost
Taps.
Adventures. TAPS Ghost Hunters. They're amazing.
Oh,
They also
okay.
do Roto-Rooter. Roto-Rooter,
Oh,
the
okay.
plumbing company. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
that's
they
right.
just came back too. I love them. Anyway, you can actually go on tour here and get a workout in your butt and thighs walking up those
Well, that's
177
probably why
steps.
he pinches people. The ghost pinches your butt on the way up because
I'm
that's when your
like,
butt looks the
damn, you
best.
looking good. One of the ghost hunters girls was walking up the stairs and she was like, thighs and butt, thighs and butt, thighs and butt. Yes.
That's
And it's
cute.
exhausting. I don't know how they went up and down. Like they went up and down. Like some of them went up and down multiple times. So it was a lot. But
Jeez.
that is the Pensacola Lighthouse. Go to Pensacola, or if you're going to Pensacola, go check out this lighthouse. The Naval Airspace Museum is also really awesome right next to it, and it's free. I'm pretty sure it might just be the military. But regardless, it's military, and we need to
Yeah.
support them. They're awesome. Um, if you're looking for somewhere to eat, McGuire's Pub. They're amazing too. They have like $1 billion bills on the wall, and get yourself a Irish wake and don't get too
S-
drunk.
Don't get sick off of it.
Mm-mm. I'm so glad whenever we did that Facebook Live that you didn't ask me my most embarrassing moment because it involved that. I think I've told you before, but I'm not going to
You
tell you.
have. Yeah.
Yep. It was awful.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that, bud.
I want to hear about a murder or true crime.
You know, um, I've got a story for you. Are you
Do
ready?
you?
I
Am
sure
I
do.
ready?
It's
Hold on.
very long,
Wait,
so
let me get distracted.
get comfy.
Let me get. I don't have a blanket in here.
Do you want mine? Here,
I'm
take
so
my
sorry.
blanket.
Yeah, you can just pass it over. Okay, ready? All right. Okay.
You got it.
Thanks. It would have been better if I went lower.
That would have been awesome.
Can we try it again, please?
Yeah, okay.
I just want to
Do,
see it.
do you want my blanket?
Yeah, I want your blanket. Can I please have it? Thanks. Great.
Sure, here.
Okay. Ugh. Great. Ugh.
Yeah.
Warm, toasty. Oh, why
With
didn't we
that fire
discover
behind
this?
us.
Why didn't we discover this
I
earlier?
don't
Oh,
know.
so
It just popped up. I was like, how did I not know this? And then I tried to change it because I was like, well, it's kind of past fall, but I don't even know. It like popped up when I added you.
warm. Oh, there's leaves on the table. We just need Leon
So
in the middle.
I know he's at our house. You should go say hi to him.
I might tomorrow. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. All right, I'm gonna tell you about James Warren Jones, aka Jim Jones. Have you heard of him?
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Is that him? I was gonna say either the Star Wars song guy who does the orchestra sound music.
Oh,
James. No, that's James Earl Jones. Never mind. That's Mufasa.
this
Jim
is
Jones.
Jim Jones. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
I've
So-
slightly heard this. Sorry.
This is literally
This is a cult story.
This is a cult story.
You're doing this for me. I was the listener request for this. Yes.
So I will say that there is I was like, how do I condense all of this, you know? So if you're listening and you're like, there's way more, you know, there's more details to that, I am so sorry. I had to figure out a way to like minimize it. So I really kind of focused on just James or Jim Warren Jones instead of like all the other leaders that are out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I pause for a second?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you hear me? You can probably hear me. Damn it. Can't send you subliminal messages. I guess I can send you like video. Like not virtual. I got a blanket so I can be warm, 'cause it's probably 60 degrees in this room.
Oh, look at you.
I had to open the door and I had to close the stairs door so that way it wouldn't be loud, but it's cold in here and the pellet stove's on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Cold.
That makes sense. Okay.
Sorry.
Are you ready?
Are you ready for this? Yeah, I'm ready. Go. I'm so ready. I'm so pumped. I'm so excited for this. 13 freaking episodes, Amy, and you're just now telling me a cult story. All right.
I was saving it for the 13th episode.
Oh, I love it. It's perfect.
Okay. So James, aka Jim Warren Jones, was born on May 13th, 1931 to James and Lynetta Jones. His father was on disability due to a gas attack during World War I. He was super emotionally absent and didn't really show love towards Jim. Lynetta was very like free-spirited, carefree. She didn't like religion. She didn't believe in like what she called was sky gods.
What?
I don't know. She was
Okay.
like, I don't believe in those sky gods. I don't know. So, she did believe in land gods though, so you know. I'm just kidding. Lynetta,
Sky gods? No. Land gods?
Absolutely. 100%. Lynetta worked constantly. She was like a workaholic. She didn't even want kids in the first place. So she really didn't have that, you know, maternal instinct. When Jim was younger, they ended up moving to Indiana. And Jim described his childhood as loveless and parent absent.
That's depressing.
I know. He really kind of just, they, allowed him to like survive basically. They took care of him, but there was like no relationship with his parents. His father was an alcoholic. His mom, didn't even want to be a mom. So like, oh, this is such a drag to have to take care of this burden. I don't know. Jim was known to wear pressed slacks, nice button-up shirts, nice shoes every day to school, like church clothes. He formed a baseball team with the kids on his block. He wasn't good
Practice
at it
cult.
though.
Sorry. He
He
formed a baseball
wasn't good
team.
at it, but he was good at forming the team, like you just said. As a teen, Jim would go to different churches just to like check them out. He didn't really settle down with any of the churches though. He wanted to just like absorb the different religions.
Okay.
He would carry around a Bible, and on the weekends he would go to different shopping centers and just like preach the Bible. And what he did was like he would preach the Bible, but also like preach about equality, like everyone should be even, like equal, because it was the 30s, so there was a lot of
Right. Women's rights and
segregation.
everything.
Yeah. So he did a lot of that type of preaching, which I thought was kind of cool. At 17, he got a job at a hospital and was a candy striper. Do you know what a candy striper is?
Yeah. They take care of
Yeah.
the patients and go
Yeah,
in and
you
read to
like,
them and stuff.
yeah, like a tech. He would, do that. He would also like they didn't say he was a candy striper, but that's what I said he was, because that's what I pictured. But he was like a tech. He would clean up the throw up and handle the, amputated limbs and
Candy striper.
random.
Maybe
Yeah,
they didn't have a name for them back then.
Yeah, yeah. So my mom was a candy striper at one time.
Oh, that's cute. Did she wear a uniform?
I don't know. Maybe, but her name
The
was
only reason
Candy, so I thought it was very fitting.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. That is so cute.
Jim loved that, the medical field so much that he wanted to go into medicine. In 1948, Jim met a nursing student who worked there named Marceline. They started dating, and she like fell in love with him because he was devoted. He devoted his life to care for others and saw everyone just as an equal, and she like loved that about him. They ended up getting married in June of 1949, and before they were married, Marceline was under the impression that Jim was a Christian, which Christians believe in the Holy Spirit, God, and Jesus. After
Right.
they got married, she like slowly learned that Jim didn't even believe in her God. So they would get into like superheated arguments about this, but they didn't believe in divorce, or
It's a pretty
she
big
didn't.
deal breaker.
It is. They would get in like these super big arguments, but she's like, I can't leave him because that wasn't, you get frowned upon for doing that in the 30s. So she stuck with it. He would often take her to local African American churches. He said that he was drawn to them because they were more free spirited. No, like the traditional.
Yeah, like super hyped up.
Yeah, super hyped up, loud during worship.
Yeah.
They loved how he just loved how fun they were.
Yeah.
Which I do too. Honestly.
Yeah, I do too. I know that's what I know exactly what you mean.
He found one that he really loved, and he became a member there. In 1941, Jim was 21 years old, and he actually became a student pastor. And he was like, yes, this is my new calling, to become a pastor. After 1 year, he learned he didn't like to be told what to do, so he opened up his own church in Indianapolis. And
Indianapolis.
Sorry.
I know it's a mouthful.
Indianapolis. At least I'm like able to kind of pronounce it, because I've never been able to pronounce it before.
It's okay. There's words I can't pronounce.
Yeah. So this church was a blend of Christian New Age spirituality and radical social justice, which surprisingly attracted a lot of people. Everyone was welcomed, black, whites, everyone, everyone. And Marceline was also a leader at the church, but she was more of like the paperwork type of gal. So which I thought was kind of cool, considering they like had that like difference between them. So
yeah.
Their church was growing at a rapid rate, and the building they were in was getting too small for their loyal followers. They didn't have the money to just like up and move, but he also didn't want to ask them for money because the church was in a low income. Gosh dang it, if you do not stop, I will ruin you. I'm talking to the blind because it keeps
I don't hear it.
Okay, good. But it's been bugging me.
I thought Alice was in there.
So he didn't want to ask his followers for donations because they were in a lower income area.
Right.
So he knew that most of his congregation didn't have the money. So Jim was like, what do I do? Well, he came up with this plan to attract more people. How would he do this? By performing miracles. So he started small, commanding headaches and coughs to disappear. And the way that his congregation like reacted to it, it was like a full-on production, like a concert sort of thing. He would be like, who here has a headache? And they'd like raise their hand, and he'd be like, okay, come here. I name of the Holy Spirit, your headache be gone. Boof. And they'd be like, wow, it's gone. So
I didn't even have a headache in the first place.
Right. So because of that, word got out, and they're like, have you heard of this guy that can like make your cough go away? And so people were showing up, and he got tons of more members. And those members, because they weren't just in the lower income, those people were donating money.
Gotcha.
So money was a rolling in, and he just,
must
started
be nice.
Yeah, he got lots of Patreon donors. We sound so awful right
just
now.
Kidding. I swear to God, I'm just kidding.
So he I'm not gonna. He would start doing, guest appearances just to like help expose himself and to get more people who would go to other churches and stuff like that. So he didn't think that the other churches at first would believe in his healing powers. So he would only allow a select few from these churches like into the in crowd, and he would bring a few friends from his own church as like audience plants. And he would say like, oh yeah, I used to have a heart defect, or his plants would be like, I used to have a heart defect, but because of Jim, I'm healed. So suddenly he's like going from headaches to like cancer.
Huge problems that just can't be solved like that.
Cannot be solved.
None of them can be. Jim.
Yeah, and so the people were like, wow, that's amazing. At one church, he brought an audience plant, and they were like jumping up and down, claiming after Jim demanded for them to be healed, they no longer had cancer. And
oh my gosh. and then they died 2 months later.
Yeah. So because of this, it brought in way more money. People were like, oh my gosh, like he's a prophet. He finally had enough money to purchase a larger church. He changed the name from Community Unity to the People's Temple.
Community Unity. I'm sorry, I feel like that name's really funny.
Well, he did change it to the People's Temple. Do you want to know why he changed it to the People's Temple?
Because the community unity was obviously taken because that's a awesome name. What was it?
Because the
Why?
word temple was already carved into the front of the church, the building that he bought.
It was cheaper. Oh, it's funny.
So something Jim did do that I did really think that was cool was him and some of his members of his congregation would go to local restaurants, and that would only serve white people, and they would peacefully protest until the owners would give in and serve people of all color.
That's
So I thought it
cool.
was, yeah. And in return of them just saying like, fine, we'll do it, Jim would add them to a list of places that allowed all races, and he would hand that list out to his members. So they would get, in
More
return of
business.
doing that, they got tons of business.
Yeah. That's actually
So
pretty smart.
yeah, which I really like that. I was like, good job, Jim.
You know,
Like,
we can learn some tips from him.
yeah. Should we allow Black people to listen? I'm taking that out.
Should we? Is this a cult?
Is this a cult?
Maybe. What's with the
Oh,
neighbors?
I don't know. Maybe the neighbors are the cult. The whole
Dum
neighborhood.
dum dum.
So in 1965, Jim, his wife, and his 4 children, one was biological, 3 were adopted, moved out to Ukiah, California, and opened up his People's Temple there. And about 60 to 75 people of his church followed him, which, wow, that's dedication.
Right?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, you're leaving? Okay, I'll get a new church.
Bye.
Bye. Jim was pretty upset, but that not more people followed him there, and he was like not as hot. The church wasn't as hot, back in Indianapolis. So he was like really struck, like on top of his thought that his church is gonna fail. His marriage was also struggling with Marceline. They had been married for 20 years, and it was just, it wasn't going well. Marceline was bedridden most of the time because she had really bad back pain. So the intimacy of their relationship was non-existent.
She was always on her back, though. We had to cut so much out. I'm so sorry.
My mom listens to this podcast, Bri.
I'm so sorry. This is because I finished a glass of wine on an empty stomach.
No, you have fruit in there.
It's fruit.
Maybe a little fiber, a little bark. A hint of bark. A note of bark.
Cardboard instead of a box. Oh, I'm so sorry, Amy. I love you.
It's okay. Jim ended up having an affair with a younger, cuter member of his church, which was against what he preached, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, oops.
Whoopsie.
So Jim, I messed up. So Jim went to his wife of 20 years and proposed this situation to her. He's like, look, you're my wife. I love you so much unconditionally, but I'm going to continue to see this other girl to satisfy my sexual needs. We both will be happy that way. And Marceline was like, okay, like, I'm bedridden. What am I supposed to do?
There's not really anything I can do about it.
She can't up and leave him. She doesn't she can't even
have fun.
Yeah, okay, bye. She couldn't leave him. Even if she did leave him, like, she's not financially set up.
Right.
So she was stuck.
That sucks.
I know. And
slap in the face.
Yeah, dude. Jim told his church, he's like, can't lie to you guys. Listen here. I know I preached about how you need to be faithful to your spouse, blah, blah, blah. But that chick right there, I banged. And the church was like, all right, whatever.
High fives all around.
High fives all around. Yeah, get it. They were fine with it. It was so bizarre. Jim would travel with some of his members to larger cities to bring in more members. He would set up booths and perform these miracles and would sell photos of himself for $5, which I think
Why?
I'm gonna start doing.
Right? Here's this picture. Here's you owe me $5. What?
Here's a picture of me.
Who is
I know
this?
you don't
It's
know
me.
me. Yeah. It's freaking weird.
This is terrifying.
So during his little traveling sermons, he would have a clipboard while he's like preaching to everybody. A couple clipboards would go around and people were like told to write down their name and addresses and phone numbers and stuff for marketing purposes. And he would mail these out to, mail out pamphlets and schedules and special appearance dates and stuff like that. And he got members that way. And also some people even like turned around and like sent him money back.
Wow.
So I mean,
wonder
it
if
was
we did
smart.
that.
We should. Should we stand on the corner and start preaching and like hand out a clipboard? No, that's not what you meant.
No, that's what I meant, kind of.
The People's Temple opened up secondhand stores, sort of like a Salvation Army. People would donate clothes and they would turn around and sell it for money. And the church members would volunteer there. The People's Temple also grew to a few different locations: Las Vegas, San Francisco, and I think San Diego.
Dang, I didn't realize they got so big.
Yeah, they had a couple different locations.
Dang.
Yeah. And as the People's Temple grew, so did Jim's ego. He would shame his member. Of course. He would shame his members for not spending 100% of their time with or for the temple. He prohibited people from going out to the movies, bowling. If it didn't involve anything for the church, he didn't allow it. He'd be like, listen, you're going to the movies, but you could be spending that $5 at the movies. You could be sending it to the temple instead.
Wow.
Yeah, he also discouraged romantic relationships because it took their attention away from the church. And couples who joined the church as a married couple, that was fine, but their time was very limited and were told to like constantly be doing chores and duties around the church. Yeah. So they finally bought buses, and which allowed
That's
more
what you
people.
buy.
Yeah, buses.
Buses.
It allowed more people to travel with him and would make appearances at other churches, wowing everyone. He still only used planted audience members to be healed because
so he was still doing his miracles and stuff.
He was still doing his miracles, but only the people at his church were being healed.
Right.
He would occasionally call. I hated this part. So it made me gag. He would only occasionally call out someone's name from an index card and would that wasn't part of the church, and would claim the Lord told them that they had a disease or a cancer. He'd be like, Chelsea Martin, the Lord told me you have cancer. And everyone would be like, oh, what? And so then a church nurse would go over to the person in the crowd, swab their throat to like prepare their mouth for the healing. And the nurse would like drop a chicken liver in their throat, which would cause them to gag. And then she would be like, spit it out. Yeah, she'd be like, spit it out. You have something in your throat. And so the person would spit it.
I miss you so much.
I'm sorry.
I miss you so freaking much.
she would be like, spit it out. They'd be like, like spit it
Oh, your gag reflex is so sensitive.
So they would cough it up, and they would cough it into her hand. I'm fine. And so there was like this chicken liver in her hand, and she'd be like, "Look it, it's the cancer."
It's the same thing you just swallowed. So they didn't know they were they didn't know that they were swallowing a chicken liver?
No, because she would like.
Gotcha. It's okay. You don't have to explain. I got it. Everybody else has it, I'm sure. Guys, don't make Amy throw up.
We just like. I'm fine.
For the people that listen who have a sensitive gag reflex as well, we apologize.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
But for the people that don't, this is gold. I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm sorry.
Dude. So she'd be like, "Look at the cancer." And then like Jim would be like, "Heal them. Lord, heal them. Cough it up. Oh, you're healed."
Wow,
so
it's a
sad.
miracle, Jim.
The miracle you threw up chicken liver. So around 1971, Jim started abusing pills and getting energy in the morning to get energy in the morning. And then he would take more pills at night to go to sleep.
Same.
Yeah. But these were like bad for you pills.
Yeah.
And then he actually got those pills from his followers because they were like, some of the followers were like in the pharmaceutical field. So it was like easy access for him.
Wow.
Yeah. He would hide his bright eyes from being drugged out on his pills with these big dark sunglasses. And he would wear them like all the time, 24/7, because he didn't want people to see his red eyes. He told his followers that his inner spiritual powers were so strong that he had to wear sunglasses to shield his followers from it. And if they looked at him directly, his spiritual powers would burn them.
Wow.
You're like,
that makes perfect sense. It does. It really does. Sense. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I don't want
when I stare at people,
by...
my eyes burn my children sometimes when I give them that look.
Yes.
What are you
and
doing?
They just like, they quiver. Okay.
Sorry. The mom look.
Yeah, the mom look. That's what he's giving everyone, is the mom look.
It's the mom look.
Yeah. The drugs were also heightened. His drugs also heightened his paranoia, which he would preach to his followers that the government, CIA, and FBI were tapping their wires and were after them. So they were told to always be on high alert.
Gosh.
Every time, every single like sermon or whatever, like talk that he would have with his followers, all he was doing was like putting fear into their heads. Like people were after them and like constantly being feared. Like
that's what dictators do.
Yeah.
They make you fear them.
Yep. The followers would call Jim and Marceline mom and dad, which is
wait, they would call him mom or him dad?
They would call him dad, and Marceline they would call mom.
Oh, that's so weird. That's not right. No.
Can you imagine like a 80-year-old to be like, "Hi, Dad. Dad, hello, here's my offering for today."
Fudge.
So weird. The women in his congregation believed that it was their duties to sexually satisfy Jim, since it was known that his poor wife couldn't. So they all like became his sex partners. Just the women though, like, no men. But
even though the other lady was his kind of like,
yeah, they all just like stepped up and helped him out with that.
Wow, that was so
He didn't ask
generous.
them to, yeah, he didn't ask them, but
No, oh, I'm sure they didn't.
I'm definitely positive he probably never said, like, I need to be taken care of. Ew,
Please.
gross, disgusting. They found a spot in Guyana. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Which in South America for their promised land in Jonestown, Guyana.
In Jonestown?
Yeah.
Wow. Wonder
What?
if he picked that because of his name.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Jonestown. Maybe. That would be pretty
Probably.
clever. I mean,
Yeah.
if I were to run a cult, I'd be looking for like Briannaville.
Yeah,
Brieville.
you're right.
And we would all
have
eat brie cheese.
Oh, that'd be
Just
so
saying.
yummy.
Yep.
I want to be there. I'll go.
Yep.
I'll be a right-hand man.
Shakoot's board every night.
So he wanted to find this place that would be safe for everyone, from everyone else and from the government. The mission statement for the promised land was the promised land would be an escape to avoid martial law and concentration camps that would soon be taking over America. So they're like wanting to avoid that, I guess.
Was this during the Second World War? That would
No, it
make
was in the
sense.
30s.
Yeah. Was it the 40s? That was the 40s. Never mind. Sorry.
No, because they talked about, I was going to mention this later, but they talked about the Jews.
Oh, okay.
And they compared themselves to the Jews.
Okay.
In Germany. So I don't know. Anyways. Okay. So there was not enough. Oh, yeah, because this would be later. This is in 1977.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. He was born in the 30s and stuff.
Yeah. He was born in the 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry,
guys.
Yes. This is May of 1977. I don't know if I said that or not, but yeah. So they found this land. And he claimed that there was going to be concentration camps that would be soon be taking over America. And so this was their safe haven. There was not enough cottages for all of his followers that went with him. So they had to build them themselves. And their goal was to build a self-sustaining community. But nothing, not a nail, not a tool or a plant, nothing was purchased without Jim's approval. Although the relationships were discouraged, they would happen, but they had to apply for a couple to go into a relationship together, and Jim had to sign off on it.
What?
Yep. And just the opposite, if they wanted to break up, he would have to approve it.
What?
Could you imagine, if you're in a relationship and you hate each other and Jim's like, no, I see you guys working this out.
There's some potential there.
There's potential. You guys are cute together.
You've got blonde hair and blue eyes. He's got blonde hair and blue eyes. I think you guys will work out.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Any incoming mail or outgoing mail was opened before it was passed on to the person that it was meant for. And if they didn't approve of the mail that was going out, like someone was mailing something to someone, if they didn't approve of what that person said, it didn't get sent.
He can have all of my mail.
Right.
Bills, medical bill, medical bill. You can pay it.
I hope you pay it.
Right.
The cottages were so overcrowded. There was hardly any place to sleep or sit or breathe without someone else being there. Jeez. It was awful. And the water was polluted because of where they were at. So they were told to keep their mouths closed while showering to prevent from getting sick.
Oh my gosh.
But Jim lived in a nice cabin with his wife and his favorite mistresses.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
they had a spacious living room, soft beds, a generator for air, filtered water, and these his followers that also like all their if they're old enough and they got social security checks, all those checks, all that money was going
Because he was
straight to
getting their
him.
mail.
He was getting their mail.
What
So
a
like these
jerk.
poor people were getting all of like being treated terribly, and he was just like, no, I need Brita water, sorry.
Right?
Awful.
This
So
tap. Ew.
food
Speckling.
was limited. They were literally living off of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
You
They
could
only
live
had
off of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, just saying. It has everything that you need.
Absolutely.
Same with
But I
potatoes.
bet after like the 4th month of having it, you'd be sick of it.
Yeah.
You're like, let me just sprinkle some dirt on it to get a little crunch. I hate creamy.
That's what they used to make the people in Big Brother eat for the people who were what do they call them? The have-nots. The have-nots used to only be able to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and now they have to eat slop. I would much rather peanut butter and jelly sandwiches than slop.
Was it crunchy peanut butter or creamy?
I don't know. Maybe they had a choice between the both.
Because I would pick crunchy because I don't like
I
creamy
like
peanut
Doritos
butter.
on my peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, that's yummy. That is yummy.
You like that too?
It is. I prefer like Lay's or Pringles,
Just some
but
kind of crunch.
yeah, some type of chip in it. Yeah, so yummy. Da, 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 da.
Peanut butter and jelly, they were living off of it.
Oh, so they were living off of peanut butter and jelly, and once a week, after on Sundays or whatever day he preaches, he would give everyone a cookie.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
generous.
so nice. And they also only had water to drink, and then they would had Kool-Aid powder that they could use to mix into the water if they wanted to.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yep. So
Take
just
away
a little
the
foreshadowing.
disgusting taste.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's nasty.
yeah, right.
Um, if you broke a rule, you were separated from everyone else. No one was allowed to look at that person or speak to them, and they were required to run everywhere, which was a very bizarre
What?
rule. Yeah. So like if you broke a
It's
rule,
like there's a guy on TikTok that does running with everything.
I think I know who
All
you're
I could
talking
think of
about.
is picture him. He like runs to go make a sandwich and then he'll run
Yeah.
to go vacuum the living room.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I can picture is him.
Like instead of walking, they had to run.
I'm gonna go run to use the bathroom. Gotta pee.
Hold on. You like get up to throw something away, you run to the trash can. So weird.
Weird.
The population, how would you not be able to look at that person though?
I'm so glad you included that part.
The population came to over 900 people, dude.
Holy cow.
Over 900 people. I was like, when I first heard this story, I didn't know about the population. I thought it was
Yeah,
like
me neither.
maybe 50 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So every night they would meet and Jim would preach to them. And he would also include like what's going on in the United States, which he didn't like tell them the truth. He would like it was mostly just consist of like stories that he'd make up. And he would like
Concentration camps.
yeah, and he would just like ramble on until like 2 o'clock in the morning, just about stuff.
Just bored.
He was just bored, so he was talking to these people, and these people were listening to him. Jim was getting more and more frustrated because he could tell and would hear that his people were becoming more and more unhappy. They're living off of peanut butter and jelly, and they had nowhere to sleep, and
Shitty
I get
water.
it. Yeah. And can you imagine? Like, it's South America, so it's super hot
Right.
too.
Yeah. Probably tons of bugs. Ew.
Oh my
Sorry.
gosh. Ooh. Ugh. Oh, all the mosquitoes, dude.
Ugh.
Ugh. Because it was on the coast too, so I bet there was a lot of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
A few people did manage to escape, and they did speak out to the media. And of course, Jim found out and told his followers the troops were coming to take away the children because of what people were saying. So they started to smuggle in guns, and Jim formed a security team to keep people out, low key people keeping people in. And the followers would get scared because security would actually threaten them if they didn't follow the rules. They'd be like, I'm going to hurt you if you don't follow these rules. So the people were starting to get scared of the security guards, which is
Jesus,
really
sounds like
sad.
a concentration camp.
Yeah, dude. Dude. Yeah. Sorry. February of 1978, Jim called everyone in for an emergency meeting. He stated that the truth. Are you laughing?
Yeah.
Oh, I just like heard this breathing. February of 1978, Jim called everyone in for an emergency meeting. He stated that the troops were coming in a matter of hours and that they were going to be killed, even the children.
No,
Not the
baby.
children. Yeah. Jim
The
told them,
children.
not the children. Jim told them rather than them being killed, they will be taking their own lives. And some of the followers agreed, but many of them were like,
Take my
can we just,
chances.
yeah, can we just like leave? And
Yeah.
Jim's like, no. So large pitchers were brought out, like, I guess they were more like buckets, like big containers were brought out, and they were told to fill up a cup and drink the dark liquid, which would kill
Mm.
them in about 40 minutes. And everyone drank it. Not one person didn't drink it. And he preached the entire time. After everyone was done with their drink, Jim was like, psych, you didn't drink anything poisonous. It was all a test to see if you would die
How
for the
loyal you
cause.
are.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Which is really sad because he knew that he had complete control over them.
Now they don't know when he's serious.
Yep. As a reward, they were allowed to be off duty for the rest of the day. Like, aw, Jim,
That's so considerate.
so considerate.
You mean we can
Yeah.
run? Go right home.
We can walk?
Yeah, right? We can walk.
So people back in the United States who had family in Jonestown, aka the Promised Land. Sorry, I just had like a series of burps. Were concerned because either they haven't heard from them, or they were getting concerning letters that did not make sense. They were very weird. So they kept pressing the media, going to local police, somebody needs to be looking into this place that my family member or my friend has gone to.
Right.
And so eventually a congressman went out there, I forgot his name, to check them out. He took a team and some news press and went down to South America on a little plane. During his day visit, he was actually pretty surprised. The visitors were very, obviously on their best behavior, cheerful and happy. Nothing was concerning. He didn't see anything concerning.
Right.
On his way out of the compound, a few of the members did go up to him and they're like, "Hey, can I get a ride on your car, on your plane, please? I want to leave." And he's like, "Of course." While the vehicle was passing the gates, the security guard started shooting at the vehicle. So they're like, "We got to get the heck out of here." So they rushed to the airstrip. and like was trying to quickly get on the plane. Unfortunately, the security guards followed them and shot at the plane and the people boarding it. They ended up killing five people total. 3 members, the congressman, and one of the press people. And
Dang it.
11 people total was wounded or killed. The security came back and quietly told Jim what had happened. And Jim was like on over the intercom, called everyone in for emergency meeting to the pavilion. He told the members that one of the people on the plane planned on shooting the pilot, and the deaths would be blamed on the people of Jonestown. He, said like they're gonna shoot the pilot. The plane's going to be over the jungle and crash, and everyone's gonna die, and it's gonna be on us. So he's like, but I have a solution to spare the children from torture and the old people from being slaughtered. It is time to drink the poison. And so many of the members begged them to like leave. And I listened to, because every single video, every single preach meeting, whatever it is that he had, was recorded.
Oh,
And
snap.
yeah, and so I listened to the last video because it was the last taping. I listened to it, and this one woman kept asking, her name was Christine. She kept saying, like, why can't we just try Russia? Because like I guess Russia was an option for them to go to. And she was like, can we please try Russia? And he's like, Russia won't accept us. No. And like poor Christine, oh my gosh, it was like 40 minutes long, and the whole time she's like, please, let's try Russia. And he's like, no.
Oh, she didn't want to die.
Mm-mm. uh so a lot of the people though on in the video, in the recording, like was constantly thanking him and being like, you're wonderful, Jim, you've done so much for us, and we got to do what Jim says because he knows best. It's so sad, dude. But unfortunately all of them ended up drinking the Kool-Aid flavored poison. The next day, the Guyana Defense Force troops went into Jonestown and found bodies literally everywhere.
Oh, no. Kids and
Uh,
everything, huh?
there were a few bodies that were found that had injection marks on them, which they believed may like the person may have refused, and so they held them down
Oh,
and
he forced them.
injected them with
Oh,
the thing. Jim and one of his mistresses were found on the stage with a gunshot wound to the head, which, okay, you didn't want that 40 minutes of torture. Like, that's rude.
right?
Like, you made everyone else go through it.
Exactly. Piece of
The
crap.
Yep, the death total was 909 people.
Oh my gosh.
909.
Like
Yep.
when you said like 50, like you thought like whenever you heard about this, it was like
Yeah.
50. I thought so too. Like
Yeah.
909 people.
Almost 1,000 people
Oh my
chose to drink
gosh.
this Kool-Aid and die for this
Oh,
man.
oh no.
The FBI obviously found a buttload of evidence, but I did want to point out a few things. He found $700,000 worth of cash in suitcases in his cabin because when they weren't getting enough money, because like they were getting donations from people overseas,
Right.
but he was like, it's not enough, so they started taking wood and like carving like cars and trains out of wood, and then going into the town nearby and selling it for cash.
Right. Right.
And so he would take that money because it
Of
all went
course.
back to
Of
him.
course. Yeah. It's all for
So
him.
he had $700,000 worth of cash in
Jeez.
his cabin, and he had multiple bank accounts totaling of $7 million worth of
Oh my
money.
gosh.
Yep.
I wonder what they
Uh,
did with that.
I will tell you.
Oh,
But obviously he wasn't spending on the compound. So like what was your plan with this money, dude?
right?
490 bodies were never identified due to decompose decomposure from the heat, because I mean they were out there for like
Yeah,
a week.
faster.
It decomposed faster, and a lot of these people didn't go to the dentist in like years and years and years and years, so they couldn't even decomposure, so they couldn't use fingerprints or their teeth, dental records, so they didn't, unfortunately, they were never identified. A cemetery in California offered ground to do a mass burial for those members, though, which is really nice.
Aw.
The churches that he had open still, like in the United States, were obviously shut down. And the money
Can't imagine why.
yeah, right. The money he had, like that millions of dollars and the cash, they used to help repay the victims' families.
Oh,
So
cool. That's good.
yeah, and in that video that I was, or not, it's not a video, it's just like a tape recording. Uh, you can hear him, like he like there's a lot of children crying because they're scared. They don't know they're hearing these words of like dying and death and all this stuff. So you can clearly hear these children crying, and like at one point someone else takes a microphone and they're talking about like, we got to do this for the righteousness and we'll come back as some, in our second life or whatever. And he goes over to the children and he's like clapping, he's like, knock it off, it's time for you to stop crying, knock it off. And
What
like
a dick. I hate
telling the
him.
parent, yeah, telling the mom like, mama, you need to shut them up. And it's so sad. It's
Oh,
terrible.
little
He
babies.
talked about what else did he talk about? I wish I wrote some of this stuff down because I was like, I cannot believe you would say that to these people. But I was just like, I was doing my makeup and listening to it. So
You know, the relaxing of a murder
yeah,
documentary and doing your makeup
while
at the same
doing my
time.
makeup. Absolutely. So that is the story. It could easily be like a couple episodes worth, but that's the story. Stop. What are you doing?
Because the water softener is going off and I'm trying to
Oh, I
mute it.
can't hear it.
Oh, okay. I can
Yeah.
hear it. Like
Oh,
I feel like I can hear it through there. That was, oh, I'm so glad you, oh, that was a good one. Oh, it was a really good one.
so that is the story. It's really sad. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't
And a
drink the
lot of people
Kool-Aid.
say not to say that because it's like joking, like playing on the cult. They're like lots of
Offensive.
like, yeah, it's offensive, but it's just really sad.
I don't know. My mom says a lot of
Yeah.
awful things, but my mom has no filter, guys. Hi, mom. Love you. I'm pretty sure my mom used to say, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid," and I
Yeah.
used to say it when I was a kid. I had no idea what it meant, and then
Same.
I got
Same.
older and started liking murder documentaries and
Me too.
paranormal stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's really messed up, mom."
Oh, that's messed up. My mom used to say something that was super racist, and I don't think she knew it until like recently. She stopped saying it. I think my younger sister told her like, you can't say that, and she's like, what?
Do
I
you
mean,
know what you're saying?
yeah, a lot of it's like you grew up hearing it, so you repeat
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So and you just gotta learn.
Oh,
I'm not gonna say it on here because it's not the N word,
no.
but it's still really bad.
I
So
mean, obviously, if she was a kid, hey, there's Poppy. Look, it's Princess Poppy.
oh,
I keep on seeing her as like, there's Princess Poppy right there. Oh, wait,
I thought you
wait,
were talking
wait.
about my grandpa named Poppy. I was like, he's
No.
dead.
Aw, Poppy. So
Yeah,
cute. I think I've said that
yeah.
before. How
I love
cute.
him.
I had a pop.
A pop. I
Yeah, he
love
was
that.
the best. Poppy and pop.
So let's have a palette cleanser. It's not very long,
It's okay.
but
It's fine. Trust me.
it was a very long story.
It was so good though. Everybody, your story last week and this, or your story episode 11 and this week kicked ass.
Thank
Great
you.
stories, Amy. Good job. I loved them.
Thank you. I'll have to do bad next week.
Oh, don't worry. I have a story intended. Oh, just a heads up, guys. I already know what I'm doing next week, and it's gonna be a good one. So,
Yay!
strap in.
Strapping. Buckle up.
I don't know.
Okay. So this is from Nextdoor app. I don't have the name of the person, but need to rehome a dog. Small terrier, tends to bark a lot. If interested, let me know and I'll jump over my neighbor's fence and get it for you.
That's funny.
I
Oh,
feel
that's a good
ya.
one.
I feel
It was
ya.
short, but it is sweet. I love it. Not sweet at all.
No, I feel
My
ya,
neighbor's
though.
dog is annoying as hell. Who wants it?
Oh, your neighbor's dog is the best. Barrett.
Oh, yes, he is. He's the sweetest
Barrett's a
baby.
good baby. Yeah.
He is.
Should we get out of here?
Oh my God. Yeah, I've got to go make some nachos. I'm starving.
It's 11:30 here.
Oh, it's 10:30 here. 10:20. 10:30. So, guys, you know where to find us, if especially by now. Like, if you don't know where to find us by now, then you
You're
just need to
lost.
jump on. Yeah, you lost, guys. We're on every podcast platform. Some of the big ones: Spotify, Google,
Apple.
Apple. On Apple, it'd be great if you can write a review, not just a rating, but also a review. It helps us out tremendously. Don't forget to follow and like us on all of our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and you can just search WWTN Podcast. Our website is what'swiththeneighbors.com, and from there,
You can find. Yep, I don't know why I linked there. You can find our Patreon, which is patreon.com/what's with the neighbors. And for $5 a month, you can see exclusive content. We talked about this earlier in the podcast, so I'm not gonna like go on and on about it. But for $5 a month, it's a unedited video of the podcast recording, and you can see, like today, you can see me gagging for what seemed like 15 minutes, and our beautiful faces and things that are not on Spotify or Stitcher or wherever else you get it,
plus
watch
early
or listen. Yes, and
early
it
access.
comes out on Friday instead of Sundays, so that's awesome too. It's $5 a month. That's it.
Yep.
And yeah.
Also, feel free to slide into our DMs with any questions, comments, or even story suggestions, or if you just want to tell us how your day is. And that's at wwtnpodcast@gmail.com.
And have you checked in on the neighbors?
What's with the neighbors?
Amy and Bri. Out.
Wait. Ready? Wait,
Oh,
one,
no.
two. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
It's not working.
Okay, one more time, I promise.
Hold
All
on.
right.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3. I'm totally adding that one in the video I'm making. Thanks, guys, for listening.
Thank you. Love you, Bri. I'll see you in a
Love
couple
you.
days.
Have a good night. Yay.
Bye.
Bye.